What happened to the prototype in the past? Who or what made him evil? Well, to answer this question, we'll have to delve deeper into the history of the Poppy Playtime Company. We'll look at Poppy Playtime, which is the first toy from the company, and Experiment 814, the first documented experiment. We'll analyze all the conversations between the prototype and the doctor. Then we'll discuss every conversation that involves the prototype. Let's start with Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime is the first toy the Playtime Company produced in 1950. She is the only character without a cardboard cutout and was introduced by the Vintage Poppy commercial. We first got to know Poppy in Chapter 2. She has an appreciative, loyal, and good-natured behavior. The prototype locked her in a glass case in the Poppy room just before the hour of joy, and the player saved her from her glass prison. To return this favor, Poppy decided to help the player escape the company.
Thank you for freeing me. I was stuck in there for so long. Thank you. I'd like to pay you back. There's a train station nearby. It needs a code, and I have it. We're gonna get out of here.
But that good nature is probably a cover for her horrific history. The Vintage Poppy commercial VHS introduced Poppy as a toy that can interact with kids, but the last part of the commercial ends with something eerie. When the voiceover artist in the commercial asked Poppy if there was anything she wanted to say, she responded with, "I'm a real girl just like you."
I'm a real girl, just like you.
That statement has numerous meanings, and one of them is that Poppy, just like Huggy Wuggy, was once human. But why do I say this? The answer takes to a Poppy Playtime maintenance VHS. This VHS was supposed to show Poppy doll owners how to maintain their dolls, but the middle of the tutorial exposed a terrific truth. After steps 1 and 2 of the tutorials, the video jumps to step 5. Next, it skips to an unnamed step where a medical forceps cuts out Poppy's voice box, which is drenched in both fresh and dried blood. Then the screen abruptly goes dark and prints multiple lines saying, "Let me go." That scene shows that Poppy has organic internals, and during the maintenance, she becomes sentient and screams, "Let me go." The company created Poppy in 1950, so we can presume she's the first experiment. Now you're probably asking, what does this have to do with the prototype? Fans discovered fully recorded audio of Poppy that was ultimately removed from the final game. In this tape, she revealed something that leads us to the story of the prototype.
You have so much potential. I know you came to find the ones who had disappeared all those years ago. But they're gone. They've been gone for a long time. Terrible things have happened, and I am the cause. Being able to exist as a doll, it has killed so many people.
Not only did this tape confirm that Poppy was the first experiment, but it also showed the company carried out horrifying experiments, and the prototype is one of those experiments. This assumption is also confirmed by a document the player found in Elliot Ludwig's office, Experiment 814. The document revealed that Ludwig used poppy flower gels to experiment on a rat. In his analysis, Ludwig said, "I still believe in the potential of the poppy flower. Its unusual properties lead me to believe that the proper mixture and procedure could have life-altering properties. Perhaps something larger than a rat would yield different results." From this analysis and the name of the document, we can surmise that someone in the company carried out this experiment several times. The first 3 words, "I still believe," show that's not the first time he tried the experiment. Then, document code 814 shows he did this type of experiment at least 814 times. Although we can't point out who wrote the paper, for reasons we'll discuss later in this video, we can assume Poppy Playtime is the first successful experiment. Someone was trying to create her replica, and that's what led to the second experiment. So what's the second successful experiment? There's only one way to discover the order in which Playtime Company created their toys, and that's through their experiment serial number. Think about this. The player found document 814, the first recorded document, in Elliot Ludwig's office. Poppy Playtime created Boxy Boo, Experiment 1160 in 1966, and Huggy Wuggy, Experiment 1170, became a reality in 1984. Can you see what I'm getting at? The lower the serial number, the older the toy. In other words, older toys have lower serial numbers, and the prototype serial experiment number is 1006. Besides, most scientific experiments start with prototypes, so it's easy to presume that the company used a prototype to model Huggy Wuggy and the other toys. That said, one factor that proves the prototype came before other experiments is the Hour of Joy VHS.
Final log. In relation, Experiment 1006, the prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set. as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type. Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him. His absence was a flaw in the scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for. That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice.
This serial number, 1006, shows that the prototype is only 192 experiments from document 814, and the tape does not only identify the prototype as experiment 1006, it also shows that it can control other toys, as evidenced in the Hour of Joy VHS. So we can deduce the prototype is the second successful prototype after Poppy. Now that we know the prototype is the second successful experiment, let's discuss how he became the overarching antagonist in the Poppy playtime. It's impossible to talk about the prototype without analyzing the Bigger Bodies Initiative and Harley Sawyer. Let's start with the Harley Sawyer. Harley Sawyer was a doctor in the company who wasn't comfortable with its condition. At that point in the company's history, it was facing numerous lawsuits and bankruptcy wasn't far away.
My name is Harley Sawyer. I'm called the Doctor. When I look at this company we've built, I do not feel proud. Declining profits, failed experiments, people are constantly seeing things they shouldn't. How is that anything less than complete failure on our part?
Now, unlike most critics, Harley Sawyer didn't only point out problems in the company's management. He provided a solution, the Bigger Bodies Initiative.
Now we're understaffed, safety protocols are being abandoned, workplace incidents are common. We can't avoid a lawsuit forever. We need to deal with all of these issues at once. I'm here now with a solution. The Bigger Bodies Initiative.
Truth is, the game never explicitly mentioned that Playtime Co. accepted the offer, but toy monsters such as Huggy Wuggy, Kissy Missy, and Catnap would convict them in any law court. That said, what exactly is the Bigger Body Initiative? So how does Harley Sawyer plan to build giant toys that will replace workers and solve all the company's problems? You can find the answer to this in the removed audio, where Poppy said,
I know you came to find the ones who had disappeared all those years ago. But they're gone. They've been gone for a long time. Terrible things have happened, and I am the cause. Being able to exist as a doll, it has killed so many people. So much is unknown to you.
Poppy's statement here shows that she is the reason why Harley Sawyer proposed the Bigger Body Initiative. As a senior executive, he must have known she was human, and because Elliot Ludwig didn't reveal the secret to making human toys, he started his own experiment. Document 814 is one of those experiments. The reason behind my theory is the last sentence in Document 814.
Perhaps something larger than a rat would yield different results.
Here's a breakdown of the theory. Sawyer was around the company when it produced Poppy Playtime, and he probably noticed that Elliot Ludwig used poppy flowers in the process. However, Elliot Ludwig didn't reveal the formula for turning children into toys. This is evident in the fact that the company didn't create any toys till experiment 1006. So Sawyer knew the main ingredients, but he didn't have a recipe. So he decided to find it himself via experiments. However, after 814 attempts using lab rats, he decided to use something bigger, and the prototype is his first successful experiment. Let me guess. You're wondering why I think Elliot Ludwig is in on the toy experiments. The answer is in Elliot Ludwig's biography VHS.
In the 1960s, an unfortunate family death had pushed Ludwig down to his lowest. But with so much ambition, he rose back up and continued to fulfill his vision for the Playtime Co. toy factory. Ludwig could never be content leaving a project unfinished.
This tape mentioned that Elliot Ludwig lost a family member in the 1960s, and that pushed him down to the lowest. However, it raised an innocent question that may lead to a dark hole.
How did he manage to stay determined even after suffering such a tragic loss?
My answer to this question is Elliot revived his dead relative by placing her soul in a toy. Poppy Playtime is that toy. One convincing piece of evidence that supports my theory is the nightmare sequence of the Home Sweet Home in Chapter 3 Deep Sleep. The news broadcaster in the recording said, "Tragic news this morning. As of 9:45 a.m., local authorities report that the body of a young boy has been found on the estate of the late Elliot Ludwig, an esteemed toy maker and originator of Playtime Company. At this time, an official identity for the child awaits official confirmation. Found in an upstairs bedroom in a large duffel bag, this recording shows that Elliot Ludwig engaged in the experiments and carried out experiments till he died. But it also raises another point. Elliot wasn't expecting his death. It was sudden. He didn't have time to dispose of the experiment. That's why we can presume that Elliot Ludwig is the prototype. Here's my logic. Elliot Ludwig has the technology for creating living toys, but he only uses it once even if the company is dying. Harley Sawyer wants this technology, but Elliot refuses to share because he doesn't support Sawyer's bigger body initiative. Don't you think it's possible that Sawyer killed him and used him as an experiment? Experiment 1006? Think about this. Amongst all the toys, Experiment 1006 is the most brilliant and violent.
The prototype seems to possess an unprecedented level of intelligence, beyond that of all other test subjects, as well as an alarming willingness to commit violence.
We can presume the prototype is more brilliant because he's not a child. Other toys were children from Playcare, children who are eager to follow instructions. But he was a brilliant and violent adult before the experiment, which is not unlike Elliot Ludwig. To support this view, Experiment 1006, the prototype, hates the big body initiative. That's why he initiated the Hour of Joy, which killed everybody in the factory on August 8, 1995. So we can say what made the prototype evil is his nature before the experiment and his hatred for the bigger body initiatives. What do you guys think happened to the prototype to make evil? Let me know your answers in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Like this video and subscribe to our channel for similar clips.